Good morning, afternoon, evening, and night to all. Welcome. Thank you for tuning in to the fifth ATSCast. There has been a reshuffling behind the scenes within ATSCast, which unfortunately meant not releasing a podcast last week. But fortunately, everyone involved in the podcast is still around, including your host with the most. But before we go around the roundtable, let me take some time to introduce myself. I'm clearly not Abid. This is your neighborhood dude, Jude. I will be hosting the podcast moving forward, but with me would be the rest of the ATS Heartbeat. So say what's up, Aaron.
What's up, dude? What's up? My name
Hi.
is Aaron. Nice to meet you guys.
Cap. Wait, where is their cap? Anyway, Avid.
Yo, what's good? I'm not the host with the most no more, but I'm here. I'm vibing. Let's get
He's
it.
still the most. Still the
I
most.
got the most always, baby. Let's run it.
And last but not least, Jason.
Hello. It's good to be back.
It is good to be back. All right, thanks for being here, guys. Now, as you're tuning into this podcast, chances are that you'd be listening to our voices on a phone or some form of mobile device. Like, I can't imagine our listeners carrying around a hefty laptop, while listening to some like lightning content. Well, if you are, you should play League because you can probably carry a game as well. Kapay.
Honey.
Okay, bro.
Anyway.
Get it. Fuck.
Anyway, well, over the past week, new phones have been released from Samsung and Microsoft. If you guys have been up to date with the tech news, and as usual, they carry the nifty specs that we expect high-rising tech companies to bring. But man, the price, the price is truly exorbitant, especially now with the struggling economy and the staggering unemployment that's been going on worldwide. The Note 20 is $999 base price with $1,300 for the Ultra. Yeah, it's crazy, right?
That's mad.
You'd think Apple would be the barometer for high-priced phones, but when you see Samsung releasing phones with higher prices, that does give you a bit to think about. And well, the new Microsoft Surface Duo is $1,400. That's
Wait,
yeah.
what? $1,400?
$1,400.
That's
Even
just
though it's a
basic.
dual screen phone and it's similar to the Fold, it's still pretty expensive. So
That's crazy.
even assuming that you had the money to, would you guys purchase this?
I mean, personally,
Hell
no.
no.
I've always been a cheapskate when it comes to electronics, except my guilty pleasure, which is my gaming computer. But besides that, everything else is secondhand or cheap for me, so I probably wouldn't purchase it. What about you guys?
Bro.
It's pretty much similar. 1,400 for the Surface is kind of overpriced. I mean, not kind of. It's actually really overpriced. I agree with Aaron in the sense that my guilty pleasure would definitely be leaning towards the gaming side of the laptops. So yeah.
Huh, interesting. I'll get back to that, Jason. But I mean, Abid, what's your take on this?
Dude, the last time I bought a full price phone, like a flagship phone, was the HTC M7, I believe is what it was called.
Yeah, I
Something
remember that.
HTC One. Yeah, the M7. And that was like
Uh-huh.
2013.
Dude,
I
that
don't-
phone was fire.
That phone was really, really good. I
It
enjoyed
came with the
it.
Beats audio, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
and Beats
sir.
wasn't an
Beats
Apple brand, right?
audio.
That was a
Exactly.
that was a
Yeah.
time.
It was still
That's crazy.
Beats by Dre. Anyway.
Yeah.
That
I
was
mean,
the
that's
last
interesting.
time I bought a flagship phone. Ever since then, I've only used like the other two. I echo that sentiment, and I don't really spend much on phones. I'm currently
So
on
what?
iPhone, but
Mhm.
it's 3 generations old, and
Yeah, but
I got it
still,
for.
it's still a flagship phone, right? It's not like you're paying
I agree.
anything
I
for.
agree. I am, but like I'm not paying $1,300 for it. I got it for free, basically. I
That's
paid it
fair.
for 400, whatever. Yeah.
That's fair. I mean, even with the price, people still would pay for that, just to get the latest up to date features. And I feel like if I were to have unlimited resources, I would be one of those people. Just because, the curiosity sometimes gets to you. But I feel like I'm like the sole one out over here. I mean, I guess gaming is not as a big of a feature compared to the rest of y'all. So, you know,
Yeah.
But the thing is, for me especially, I'll give the reasoning as to why I feel I would splurge that much cash. It's just that a phone is basically a companion, especially now. It goes wherever you go, and that's why I feel like quality in a phone is paramount. Like now, quality can be a subjective topic for sure, right? And people have differing opinions to what they feel is the most important aspect of a phone, particularly. I feel like you guys would cater more towards the gaming side of it if such a feature were possible. But in the current climate of phone technology, what is the feature of a phone that you cherish the most? Like, let me give my take on this first. I mean, I honestly love looking at, like, I spend a lot of time browsing through things on the phone. So I say, like, the screen would be the most important, regardless of, like, everything else for me is substitutable. If it has a bad battery, like, I could sit down and browse with a portable charger. Um, if it has bad audio, I could use an earphone to pick up for better quality sound, right? But for a screen, it's pretty unsubstitutable. So I'd have to invest a lot of. I'd want a phone that invests a lot of resources in that. So what are your guys' takes on this?
Um, I'll speak first if you guys don't mind. Before I get onto my specific, my personal favorites or my personal favorite features for phones and stuff,
Mm-hmm.
I do want to touch on what you were talking about, the gaming feature. I
Yeah.
think none of us are really mobile phone like mobile gamers in that sense, but
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
it's really interesting to see the new wave of phones starting to shift from not only camera quality but now processor speed and adaptability for mobile games. Like
Yeah.
now we have Razer making phones. Now we have iPhone advertising their processor for once instead of their camera
Dude,
quality,
you
right?
have ROG on the market. You have Asus
Yeah,
That's
and
dude,
crazy.
ROG
it's
Yeah.
making
it's insane, right?
gaming
To see,
phones.
Mhm.
yeah. So for the past decade, we've had constant advertising of camera quality versus camera quality versus camera quality. Which phone has the best camera quality? Which phone has the best battery life, right? And then now
Yeah.
we're seeing a new wave of which phone has the best RAM, the best processing speed, which phone can run games at a higher quality. And I think that's crazy to think about. But when it comes to my personal preference, I really don't, I couldn't care less about processor speed because I don't really play any phone games. I think for me, now it would have to be like what you mentioned, screen.
Mhm.
One of the reasons why I personally just love Apple, even though I'd never really buy their, I always buy the secondhand Apple phones and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I love the Apple screen and I love the Apple UI. Um, and another thing is camera quality is key for me. Uh, like you said, when it comes to music, you can listen through earphones. When it comes to battery, you can bring a, what do you call it? You can bring a portable power bank. But when it comes to camera quality, not many of us have proper DSLRs. So camera quality is something that I don't like to sacrifice on. So yeah,
That's
that is it
true.
for me.
That's true. Anyone else wants to share their take?
Yeah, I personally agree with um Aaron's take, because I think, the evolution of phones, it has gone from screen sizes to how big it can go, and now
That's
you're
true.
looking at processors because, gaming like on phones are currently a big thing now with, games like what's that MOBA game, Mobile Legends.
Bang
Um,
bang. Anyway,
Jason,
you
why
can
are you
continue.
acting like you don't know what that game is? You played it.
uh,
Yeah, true.
um, yeah, I mean,
That makes
games
ones of
like
us, So yeah.
games
Sorry,
like
Jason.
that, yeah, games like that, and with Apple introducing Apple Arcade and stuff, it's just more targeting to the gaming side of the market now, which is crazy to see how far it came. But for me, I've been an Apple user since um, when I got my first phone, and I think for me, I think my favorite feature, of course, I think I would agree with most of y'all, is the screen. I'm currently having the um, iPhone XR, which is one of not the latest model, but still a very new model for me. because I've had the iPhone 6 for like the past 3 to 4 years, and this is like my only upgrade that I had in a long time. Personally, I was fine with my previous phone, but I think what I like most is because of the infinite display. Um, it's more touchscreen based because I'm not really a fan of the buttons when it comes to the iPhone back then.
Mhm.
But it's just really it's a lot easier, and of course like the quality of the retina display of the screen is a lot better. You stream in better quality and high frame rates and stuff. So it's definitely a nice feature. I'd go from there. I like it for sure. Abit?
Jason, how much did Apple pay you to do that? man's really out here doing a Steve Jobs ad.
True.
Okay, I did. Okay, before I get into it and I forget,
Go
I'm
ahead.
gonna disagree with Jason's button versus infinite display bullshit. Yo, that display is bullshit. That's all I'm saying. The button, hella nice. Anyway,
It's your
Um,
So I
opinion. It's your
assume.
opinion.
but that's
So I
also
assume.
personal preference. But yeah,
Wait, have you
So I
used the
assume-
iPhone X, Abit?
I've used my friend's one for a while and like I don't
Yeah.
like it at all. I enjoy having a physical button.
Yeah.
I think it
same.
adds a certain dynamic that that touchless phone. I feel like that would be a lot
Hmm.
more appealing to me. If like with Face ID and stuff. I mean, it's already really good. Facial
Yeah.
recognition's already pretty good. I think like if it was like well 200% out of 100%, 200%, then I would probably be more on board, I guess. But I guess that's the only old school part of me that I love the home button. I feel like it's
Yeah.
it's such an iconic piece of Apple history
Yeah,
that
yeah.
I guess
Wow.
I just hold it close to my heart, you know.
I think
Yeah,
it's.
dude.
Mhm.
I agree with that sense. Sorry to cut you off, but yeah, I think it's. You know, I was not used to it at first as well, but I think is over time when you get used to it, it just changes your
It's gonna
perspective
become the
on
new
things.
norm, right? Eventually, we're
Yeah,
Yeah,
all gonna
just
have
like
to
the
get used
headphone
to it.
jack now being there. It's like
Yeah.
I think
everyone
that.
we adapt to
Sad,
them, dude. It's
but
not
yes.
they adapt to us, we adapt to them.
Yeah, dude.
And that's
Yeah,
just
Easy capitalism,
Apple's.
bro.
It's not just capitalism. It's just Apple's. It's been Apple's ploy since they started as a company. It's Steve Jobs, dude. That's like
Steve
his
Jobs,
thing,
dude.
dude. Honestly,
Yeah.
like he makes things for people. And no, people buy things from him. It's not that he makes things
Yes.
for people. I
Yeah.
think it's
yeah.
very
I
much the
mean,
other way around.
it's
But
from his
Mhm.
creation, his creative aspect of designing. So it's definitely something that the tech world would cherish for a long time.
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
it's good that you transitioned and talked about the home button a bit, um, because that is a feature that's also been slowly being phased out in replacement with just a typical tactile feedback from a regular screen. Um, but yeah, like I think it's well documented how headphone jacks have been being phased out and what the producers' opinion of it has been. But there's not been a lot of commentary on what people actually feel like without a headphone jack. Because I'm pretty sure a lot of us have old accessories, old peripherals that still depend on that headphone jack. What are your guys' thoughts on that? Like, would you just not use them? Like, how does that?
Dude,
dude. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh
I've had
my
to
god.
adapt basically. I mean,
Hmm.
it is honestly the most ingenious play by the tech industry in a way, because like everyone knew it was coming. Whoever was in the
Yeah.
tech industry, they just saw it coming. It was just about when would it come, right? People were expecting
Hmm.
it more so to be when USB-C comes around, and then USB-C would transition. Like USB-C audio isn't even the best either, but people
That's
were
true.
expecting it to be like around like USB-C time, and then progress from there. But then Apple just was it the 5 or this 5S or something, right?
it's six. It's
The
the
six.
six
Was it
The
that they
six.
six?
transition.
Okay, sorry.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my memory,
Mhm.
dude. Like, okay, the 6. They transitioned out of the 3.5 millimeter jack, and they really set the market standard. Because after that, I mean, the only reason people would still stay on Android is because they have, as you were saying, those older peripherals that probably they didn't want to get rid of yet. But I think it was somewhat necessary because it enables progress in a way. Because a lot of people, I feel like, were forced to move into the wireless trend. So like your AirPods, your wireless earbuds, whatever you have, right? Your what is it, Nano Buds for Samsung or whatever, your Pixel Buds, whatever it is. Like, not only was the rest of the tech industry forced to, innovate. I feel like people as a whole had a new learning curve and to learn how to become more and more wireless. Because I feel like eventually we're gonna get to a point where even we don't have those things in our ears, right? As Elon Musk said, he's gonna get us something in our brain. But,
Yeah.
but yeah, I mean,
Wow.
I feel like it was a very necessary push for forward. Do I think it was perfectly well executed or perfectly done? Not at all. I think the dongle is, dude. The dongle is the most frustrating thing on the planet, and I think for iPhone specifically, Lightning is so dumb.
It's so
It's
stupid.
so stupid that we're still on Lightning and we aren't on USB-C. And there's
That is
just
facts.
countless reasons why USB-C is better. They're slowly transitioning with. I know the latest iPad, I believe, is on USB-C.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
Uh,
true. It's on USB-C.
so
Sorry.
they have
With the
the
latest
plan,
MacBook as
but
well.
obviously they're gonna try creating, Apple C or something that's literally just USB C, but
Lightning C,
Apple, and so they
thunder
can
cable.
copyright it and just yeah, exactly. They can just sell it themselves instead of you going to a Chinese company who does it for like a quarter of the price. But yeah,
Hmm. That's a fair point. Yeah, there is a lot of frustration with that. Like you're adding more accessories to the list of unusable accessories you have, and in the future, that dongle itself is going to be worthless, right? Like
Yeah.
going with the current trajectory. Aaron, what are your thoughts about the peripherals
Oh,
phasing out?
well, okay, so I shifted to iPhone this year, the start of this year. I bought a secondhand iPhone 7 Plus, and it's actually my first time experiencing the lack of a headphone jack, which honestly has been a pain in the ass all year for me because I've bought the dongle, the converter, the aux to um, lightning converter. I've lost it because it's so small. It's so easy to lose. I bought another one. I've lost it. Now I'm actually living without one. So I because my car doesn't have Bluetooth connectivity and I don't have AirPods or any Bluetooth earphones. I have so much trouble playing music or listening to music where I want to go. And it's annoying because I have pairs of old Apple earphones, and they're all Apple products that I've bought in the past, right? But I can't even
Yeah.
use them, even though I recently bought them as well. So it's a bit of a pain. Um, like what Abid was saying earlier, it to me, I do personally believe that yes, it was a necessary change. I do think that you know it's not as if they just removed the headphone jack and then just gave us the same old earphones, just Bluetooth connectivity. No, the AirPods, they actually added a lot to it. And they gave you a product that, yes, they're forcing you to buy it if you want to listen to music, but it's also kind of worth it in the sense that, they've increased the capacity of what you can do with earphones, right? Or AirPods now. Ease of connectivity, what you can do with it. They've added all these new features. So they're kind of justifying the purchase and they're justifying the switch as well. So I do agree with that, but as someone that wants to purchase Apple products, I feel like this shift kind of put people that really can't afford all of these accessories. They really put people in that situation in a tough space because now I'm in a situation where my life would be so much easier if I bought AirPods, but AirPods are pricey, right?
Yeah.
So do I sacrifice not listening to music or do I buy fake? Do I buy fake like AirPods? Do I buy some other Bluetooth product? So now I'm in a situation where if I want to support Apple, I have to spend an insane amount of money and not have enough for myself, or I just do something that's third party but not have the same quality. So I'm in a bit of a tough spot and I'm not really a fan of it. But yeah,
I see.
what about you, Jason?
I think it's mostly mutual amongst all of us in terms of our opinions on this. Because I think while it's also a good change, I think it it's more of like a similar change when Abid mentioned earlier with the whole transition from the traditional charging cable to the lightning cable. It put everyone in a really difficult spot. But I think with the wireless connections, it really did put people in a tougher spot because of how expensive wireless things can go. Personally, uh, it was really tough adjusting to uh, not using a headphone jack because I've always charged and listened to my music simultaneously, and I've owned a lot of great like headphones that I wired, and I am using wireless headphones now. But if I were to say wired will always sound better in terms of the sound quality compared to wireless. Mainly because I mean, although it is like compatible and everything, some I just don't like having the dependability on charging my device every time. Like almost every single thing I own right now has to be charged. Instead of having the traditional way where you don't have to worry about how how low your battery life is on your wireless headphones or stuff like that. At least that's a problem for me. But yeah, other than that, even MacBooks now are transitioning to USB-Cs, which makes old MacBook users with the traditional magnetic plug, giving them a huge problem too. So I think while it's a good change, it comes with a heavy cost, and that's how I see it.
Yeah, and I feel like that cost is being shared, being felt by many consumers. And it's clear by the frustration that we three, I mean, me, myself included, so us four have been voicing out that um, even though Abid mentioned that it's a necessary push forward, um, there are a lot of future innovations um, that do not have such a slight negative connotation, right? So we'll go focused on that. Like among our current discussion on the phone features, what is a future development of the mobile phone that you're most excited about? And I'll let Jason take the floor here for.
Yo, I don't want to cut Jason off, but like, yo, I
Yeah.
heavily disagree with your point about wired versus wireless on quality
Okay.
difference.
I mean,
That's all I'm gonna say. I'll let you. We can shift away, but I just want to
I
say
mean,
that.
I will.
you can
It's a
go
good point.
first.
I will get back to that a bit regarding wired and wireless.
Yeah,
That is
no
like
stress,
interesting.
no stress. I just want to put that
Yeah,
out there. Go for it, Jason.
but yeah, Jason.
Oh, can you repeat that? I'm sorry, I didn't really hear
Oh,
that.
what is a future development of the phone that you're interested in, that you're most
Oh,
excited about?
I kind of like the the idea. I think Samsung had that camera that pops up and flips. So
Huh, that's an,
I kind of like that idea, and I would like to see how Apple implements it in that way because I know they will. They've been following
camera
Samsung.
that flips. You don't see that as a gimmick or so, or
I mean, it is kind of, but I just like that that feature. I don't know. I just like to see how Apple Apple take that necessary step to follow the trend because apparently that model itself of Samsung is really popular according to people that I've talked to. So yeah, I would love to see. Um, that would be something exciting to see within the Apple production.
I see.
Mhm.
Interesting. Well, Abid, before we go into wired versus wireless, what are you most excited about regarding a future development?
Dude, okay. Future mobile phone development. Honestly, I have no specific point, but I feel like I can't wait for, like, I feel like facial recognition is still on more superior or high end phones. feel like when that becomes a norm,
Mhm.
I feel like that's what I'm looking for the most. Is that I can get a cheap phone. So like by cheap I mean like let's say $100 $200, right? I can get a
Yeah.
phone for that price, and it's gonna have Face ID. Maybe not as great as iPhone's flagship Face ID, but somewhere there. That's something I look forward to for the entire industry to just be there and
Uh-huh.
see what comes out of it. But also, I feel like companies are gonna be pushed to make more affordable phones, right? Especially after this pandemic and this whole, lack of money th- issue that's gonna exist for the next couple of years. I feel like the amount of people who would previously drop $1,300 or whatever on an iPhone or whatever, the latest iPhone, I feel like the population would decrease in that regard. So
Mhm.
I'm curious to see how companies adapt and maybe create these new innovative phones in a more cheaper, more affordable manner. I feel like those two probably the biggest things.
Yeah. So more cost-effective development.
Yes,
I feel like is
exactly.
what we're getting at.
Efficiency in the cost department for sure.
Yeah. Aaron?
Oh, well, I think if we're talking about features that I'd be very interested in, I guess I have a very like childish view on things in the sense where I'm looking forward to
Uh-huh.
the time where phones are flexible because I feel like that would change up like the function of a phone by like it's just crazy to me to think that there is a possibility that phones can start to be flexible, and they're starting to do this with I'm not too sure which one. I think it's one of the Samsungs,
Yeah.
the bendable one, the one that can bend. Uh, I to my knowledge, it's still not considered flexible. It's just that it can bend in two different directions. But there are phones, there are theoretical the ideas like the emo pulse and stuff like that that are completely bendable, which you could place like fit them on your wrists and stuff like that. So they would function as a watch and as a phone as well. And I feel like that would be such an interesting concept, and I'd be very excited to see how that would change um, the whole landscape of how we treat phones and how phones are a part of our lives and stuff like that. I feel like that would just be really cool to see. So yeah.
When you said flexible, I was imagining those like bracelet-looking
Yeah,
phones.
yeah,
Yeah.
actually,
I
yeah.
feel like that would improve productivity
Like,
and
yeah.
functionality.
So it's like imagine your Apple Watch, right? Is more, let's just say it's yeah. So your Apple Watch, you use that as a watch, and if you want to take it out as a phone, you can just unhook it and then straighten it out, and it's a phone. I feel like that would be so interesting, right? That'd be so cool.
Mhm. That
Whether
would
it's
be cool.
practical or not, I don't know because I do know people like to have their watches and phones separate. But
Uh-huh.
I feel like it'd be a really cool concept to see. Yeah.
That is true. Well, I mean, regarding the future, especially in terms of sound quality, I think we'll get back to that a bit regarding wired versus wireless headphones. What's your take on it?
Yeah.
Because I feel like you have such a strong opinion regarding it.
On wired versus wireless, right? Um,
Yes.
I feel like yes, obviously you are going to get a better quality regardless of what it is on wired, purely because it is wired and it's directly connected. You're not using Bluetooth or another wireless activity point. But
Mhm.
I think the difference has gone to a place that the it's very minimal. Like it's barely recognizable for your average day user. If you're a audiophile, obviously you're gonna tell the difference. But for the most part, you, me, um, the average Joe who works 9 to 5, like we won't be like, oh yeah, this sounds like wow, wired sounds 10 times better. Like yeah, I can hear the significant difference in wired. I think you can
Hmm.
tell the significant difference in quality of a product now. So let's
Yeah.
let's let's say like $10 earbuds versus the AirPods Pro, right? Obviously, you're gonna get a massive difference because it is a more premium product. It is made with better quality tech, and it just is, right? And that just comes. It's better hardware.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like, so I was using wired earphones for a while on this very phone, on the iPhone 8, and I have the Beats, Your Beats or whatever it's called. I don't even know what it's called, but they're wired Beats. They sound amazing, fantastic, no complaints. But then I got the AirPods Pro, the Pros, and I'm like, dude, these sound 10 times better. Again, you could argue that, oh, one's more catered towards the iPhone or whatever, but like, okay, they're both Apple. They're both
Yeah.
Apple. They're
They're
both
both
Apple.
Apple.
So
Uh-huh.
you're competing against yourself. But the difference in, well, flexibility, in quality, in features, that, I mean, obviously it's a more premium product too, but the difference in audio, pure audio quality, is almost non-existent to me personally.
Mhm.
It's fun, like, fundamentally there may be a difference, but for me there virtually no difference. I I would even go as far as to say the AirPod Pro are better in sound quality, but I mean, I guess my brain is also catered towards the fact that, oh, the AirPods Pro are lighter, that you don't have to worry about a wire dangling across you the entire time.
It's more convenient.
It's
That's
just
fair. Yeah.
convenience, right? It's just convenience. It also has wireless charging. So okay, what Jason was saying before, I don't mean to shit on Jason right now, but like what Jason was saying before with like, oh, you have to charge a bunch of things. Yes, if you cannot afford the first party stuff or the more premium product, I feel like that does become a bigger nuisance, and that's not to downplay those who can't afford it by any means. Because I was one of those people. I was running $20 Sony earphones on my fucking iPhone 6. So
Yeah.
like, I don't mean to put that down, but I feel like tech is slowly but surely, not even slowly but surely, it's very rapidly but surely developing, and we're getting to a more wireless world in every sense, whether that be charging, whether that be um, connectivity to your ears or whatever. Like, I feel like
Mm-hmm.
it's just getting better and better and better and better. And obviously, there's growing pains because we've only been in this era really for how long? Like the past 3-4 years, maybe.
That's true. Yeah.
So I mean, this will fundamentally become the norm in the foreseeable, maybe 4 years, right? Like, everyone's once those older gen phones are gonna phase out, people are just gonna have to get used to that wireless stuff, and yeah, that's just how it's
That's
gonna be.
fair.
But
Uh-huh.
again, yeah, I think the quality difference will only really be noticed by audiophiles. Going back to the main question, which is wired versus wireless, I think
Yeah.
audiophiles and people who work with audio all the time will be able to tell the significant difference. But even then, I feel like it's gotten to a point where it never was before, and it's only gonna get better. So I'm excited. I'm excited.
Yeah. Well, regardless, I feel like the cutoff point for quality itself in earphones connectivity in those $20 earphones that you just alluded to before. Yeah, that's a good point, Abid. Aaron, do you have any thoughts on this?
Actually, I do, because I feel like it's a very interesting. What Abid was saying is very interesting. Um, I definitely agree with what he was saying in the sense that we are just at the starting line of the compatibility between, wireless connectivity and audio quality, right? We're just at
Mm-hmm.
the starting line in the sense that things have just recently, and I mean recently in the term, in the greater scheme of things, right? Things have just started to recently be wireless connectivity
Yeah.
based, and nowadays you see more people using wireless than wired. And of course, the technology is still being fine-tuned, for efficiency, for quality, and stuff like that. But what Abid was saying is true. Like, when I put on a friend's pair of AirPods, and I've been even using my dad has Beats, right? Beats Pro, and the sound quality is incredible. And that's not to mention the efficiency, the not having a wire, the compatibility with the iPhone, and on top of that, the sound quality is still really good. Like what Abu was saying as well. If you dealt with music every day, if you're making beats on your computer and you want to, really hear the audio quality to like a very, very great in detail, then I guess you could tell the difference. But if
Yeah.
you're just listening to music, right? If
Mhm.
if you're heading to school, heading to work, and you just want to listen to music, honestly, in today's time, I don't see any difference in sound quality. And adding on the benefits of efficiency and compatibility, wireless is the better option. The only thing is you have to be prepared to pay more because that technology is still in its early stages. So it's not cut down for cost yet. You still have to be
Yeah.
paying a decent amount for that stuff. In 5 to 10 years, there will be no argument between wired and wireless, I feel.
That is true.
Just
Like
yeah,
that's why I definitely agree with a lot of your statements because it is a necessary future development. But on top of that, it's not one like the headphone jack where there's a lot of setbacks
yeah,
involved with the process. It's as simple as simply using a USB headphone that's already packaged with your phone or buying a wireless connected earphone.
that's true.
Yeah, so that is fine. Well, um, audio quality is something that's really important right now, especially with physical interaction significantly limited. It's the audio in a phone is the key lens to our outside world, given the current situation. I don't know about you guys, but when I'm having a difficult day with studies or I'm feeling stressed out, like I simply whip out my phone and watch content that I watch to enjoy, like just for the fun of it. I feel like it's the
Yeah,
same for y'all. Um,
Yeah,
so
for sure, for sure.
this feeling of happiness, right? Like from the phone, it really isn't the same compared to watching from a TV or from a laptop. Um, yeah, so I want to focus on that feeling of happiness. I'll throw this one out to the boys. What is something you like to do when you're down and about and want that feeling, that urge of happiness back? More so your habit of happiness, because I've just detailed mine. I literally just take out my phone and watch a good YouTube video. Uh, I'll start with Jason because Jason hasn't talked in a while.
Oh yeah. For me, I think there's different ways I try to find that happiness or like just to de-stress and stuff. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
first, I definitely watch content as well, certain content, just to laugh and about and just take my mind off things. Then I would also go for a run, just to get some fresh air
A
and
run is a
just
good run is a
yeah,
good one.
just
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
just
Mm-hmm.
just keep yourself fit, Kappa.
Why
Yeah.
Kappa? Nani?
Anyway, lastly,
Very
On
nice,
bro,
dude.
nice bro.
odds, bro. Anyway,
Abid, what do you do? Oh, sorry, Jason. Go on.
oh, sorry. Lastly, I'd say it's the piano for sure, at least for me. Just playing some themes that you've learned or learning some new themes that can definitely take your mind off things. Yeah,
It's amazing that you have a lot of options.
yeah, yeah, for
That's a
sure.
good start. And Abid,
For me, it's pretty straightforward actually. Getting happy. I think the simplest way is just playing a video game. Although that can bring equal amounts of frustration and anger, but
True.
I think
XD.
yeah, I think it does
yeah.
make me a lot happy. Like not happier, feel good. Because if I perform well, obviously you're gonna feel good. My other simple ones are I love driving, so just going for a drive, literally for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, just especially now when I can't really meet people, just getting in my car by myself, put some music on and just drive around town, driving around town, but yeah, that's usually what I do. Also similar to Jason, I feel like instruments are a big getaway and an easy way to just keep your mind off of things. I play guitar, so just
Mm-hmm.
play guitar and just I don't know, learn something new or create something new, do something like that. And obviously, I do watch content too, like brainlessly. It's
Yeah.
just YouTube all day, every day. Obviously, I have Netflix and stuff too, but it's mostly been YouTube lately. And I
Hmm.
think just consuming YouTube just brings me a lot of happiness. Whether that's a funny video, a serious video, whatever it may be, it just elevates my day really. So yeah.
Well, to our listeners out there, if you're watching this from YouTube, I hope this is one of your takeaways
Of
of our
course,
podcast.
dude.
Of,
Our
For
podcast, our
sure.
videos, the ATS channel is one of my favorite channels. I think they're doing a great job. They haven't uploaded in a while, but it's okay. I
Hey,
think
they're
they're
trying
doing
their best.
amazing. Amazing
we are
Hey,
quality.
trying our best.
PewDiePie,
qual-
watch
quality.
out, dude. The new T series is ATS.
Okay. I
Yo,
mean, we can. I don't
quality.
know if we can guarantee that, but we can definitely guarantee that we're enjoying ourselves while we're doing this. Aaron.
Yeah. Well, I do a couple of things honestly. Similar to Abid, I think similar
Hmm.
to most of us here. I play games. As games are a good de-stress for me, but lately I feel that gaming has become something that it's a fine there's a fine line between de-stressing and a distraction from things that you have to do. So I feel like gaming, there's a fine line between that. So lately I've been leaning towards more, I like to watch anime when I want to de-stress and when I want to feel happy because there's a lot of animes that I'm very invested in. Besides that, I like to, similar to you guys, I like to watch content. ATS podcast, number one podcast in the world. But yeah,
I love the
um,
plugs.
no,
Keep it going.
yeah,
Spot
but yeah,
Thanks, Steve.
Spotify, please sponsor us.
yeah, on
It
Spotify,
wouldn't
on
be a, it
Apple,
would be an ATS cast without the
the
essential
please
Spotify
sponsor.
ATS
call.
official 2017 at gmail.com. We're on Apple
Yeah,
Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, and every other podcast platform out there. All right, sorry, go ahead.
no worries, no worries.
Yes.
Plug it. But yeah, I would say if there's one thing that's unique in the sense like besides watching content, playing games, the one thing that I like to do is talk to you guys and talk to people I'm close to
Oh,
because it's some could say it's a distraction almost because like I'm talking to you guys about what's going on, you know, outside of my own sphere. But it's just nice catching up with people that you're close to. And I feel like that makes me very happy. So that's something that I've realized that's a happiness that I realized I can't get from playing games or I can't get from watching videos. It's almost as if like it's a different level of happiness, and that's something that I'm starting to value a lot more now. But yeah,
We can't stress that enough currently, especially with the
on
things that's going on, right?
Preach. Preach.
Yeah, we're so devoid of physical interaction. Um, yeah, and I feel like I meant as in like like face to
yeah, no
face
worries.
meeting with
Totally
people.
not sexual at all. Not sexual.
Hey man, don't gotta bring
Yeah.
that up.
Anyway, I feel like there's a unanimous agreement on the importance of happiness. Anyone willing to contradict with that?
I just want to say, Abid's joking. If my mom's watching, Abid's joking. All right, continue.
That was a joke, Auntie. I love you.
These are all feedback from the boys themselves.
hello,
It's
auntie.
not official, but well, yeah. I
But yeah,
mean,
sorry, what was the
so
question,
yeah,
dude?
the importance of happiness. We all agree on that, right? Like it's important to not only be happy, but to know how to be happy when you're feeling down,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
Yeah. So I'd like to do a mini throwback of sorts. I invite all our listeners to participate as well. So just quickly think about a time in your life. Could be in the past, could be right now, could be something you're gearing up in the near future, and it think about a time that really makes you happy, like it really makes you smile, and really delve into it. What would the first thing on your mind be? I'll leave it open because I feel like people have different instantaneous responses to this, but for me, it would be the time when I'm in the beach in Pangkor. That's an island in Malaysia where I'm just like with the family. And that was a time of my life where like I was probably what grade 6. I wasn't too stressed out with a lot of stuff, and Although, even though when I'm in bouts of sadness, I think about it. I'm like, I wish my life was like that. Thinking about it gives you a sense of it's good to be in that position, and I hope I'll be there one day. So yeah, like a fun time in the beach with the family. I'm leaving this open, so
Yeah,
who wants
that's
to
very
answer?
nice. Yeah. Well, wait, so are you asking about a specific time or just something that reminds us of happiness?
Something that reminds you of happiness more so, because it
Oh,
doesn't
okay.
even have. It didn't even need to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess my answer to that would be something more general, but I would say if there's something that when I look back to times or like experiences I've had that makes me feel happy, it would be genuine laughter. And I feel like laughing, like
Mhm.
having a good laugh with people that you're close to, whether it's family or close friends, is something that's severely undervalued. Like I always think about the places I've been, like the places I went to, the food I ate there, the company I had. But when I look back, it's like the key things that I remember that really bring me happiness are the just the bouts of laughing that I've had with my family when we're out, when we're joking around, with you guys when we're, trying to sleep and we just can't stop laughing. It's like, it's
Yeah.
like it's a very fond memory that I would have. It's just honestly, it's just us, whether it's me and my family, me and my friends or whatever, it's just laughing, constant laughing, because that shit is just so funny for no reason, right?
That's
And I
true.
feel
That's
like
true.
that's something that brings me happiness because it's so innocent. It's not laughing after a well-timed joke. It's not trying hard to be funny so people laugh. It's just you're laughing because of nothing, just because you're having a good time, you're happy, right? And that's something that I find really nice. So yeah. Anyone else?
Hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Well, for the general thing, I think. Okay, I'll do this. For generally, whenever I wanna have a happy thought, to be honest, calmness to me brings me happiness. General thing I think of is, as I was saying, calmness brings me happiness. So I think of myself on the beach, whether it be a family trip or with friends. I just think of myself alone on the beach, just in the water, just standing in the water, or sitting in the water and just looking at the sky. That brings me a sense of happiness that I feel like nothing else has brought me in this world. It's just calm, serene, and just beautiful, and like it just gives me a sigh of relief that I don't have to really think about anything. I'm just sitting on the beach or in the water and just staring at the world. I think that brings me a next level of happiness. To be honest, it's something that's completely unique. To echo Aaron's point, I think my happiness also stems a lot from my experiences with people and
Hmm.
specifically my friends. So to get specific, it would be first year of university where I met all these guys I know in Canada, and like
Yeah.
we did some dumb stuff. Like every time we recollect, we're like, that was pretty dumb, but it made for a good time because here we are 3 years later, still talking about those moments, wanting to relive it, and like creating more moments like those. I think the same sentiment applies to you guys. We've done some dumb stuff, some fun stuff over the
Yeah.
years, and honestly, those are priceless. I think they
Yeah.
can't be recreated, and even looking back, just looking back, brings me a lot of happiness. Looking back on times like those brings me immense amounts of happiness because, well, I was there and I did it. It's just good times.
It's true.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like we all share this sentiment for calmness, the sentiment of being with one another, right? Like I think that's reflected in all of our answers. Yeah, it's interesting. Jason?
Oh, I think mine is pretty much similar to most of you guys. For me, it's more on quality time, with
Yes.
family and friends. I think that's what brings me true happiness. Whether it's, it could be as just simple as having a dinner when we're just talking about funny shit and, just having a laugh. Like, again, it's like pointing to Aaron's point as well as you, Jude. I think yeah, because we're at that stage where we don't, at least for me, I don't spend as
Mm-hmm.
much time with my family as often right now. I think we're at that stage we're just gonna, we're gonna start working and stuff, or doing our own thing. We're focusing more on ourselves, and any trip that you have with your family and friends is just something I really cherish the most. You know, because you know some people they were we take, I think with the beauty of technology, as pointing back to the phone thing again, we record these moments. Some, we have the privilege to be able to record these moments and look back on it, instead of it having just in our memory. So I think that's something I really cherish as well, and what makes me really really happy whenever I'm having good company and people that I love and trust the most. For
Yeah,
sure.
a key takeaway is that feeling of camaraderie with one another,
Yeah,
right? And
sure,
I
for
think
sure.
it's really amplified by the situation. I think I've alluded to this so many times. The situation gives you more meaning and makes you understand the importance of being with one another. And yeah, I'm hoping we all, the group in ATS, will soon see each other. And not only among us, but I hope everyone else gets to see their family, friends, and loved ones. Um,
For
that is a
sure.
genuine source of happiness. Yeah.
Yes, sir,
So
ski.
Yeah.
now, and in the topic of happiness, let's unwind all of the happy thoughts that we've been digging up and vibing with, as it's time for question of the week.
Yes, sir.
So,
Gang, gang.
the question of the week is, what is your favorite league hero? I'm just kidding. So that was a segue for our next ATS episode. So stay tuned.
Damn,
It's
that
related.
was big bait.
Whoa,
I was
please.
ready, bro. I was ready.
To all our listeners, I'm not familiar with League. Stay tuned for the next episode. Not the cast. I'm
Yeah, you
talking
called it League Hero, so.
about.
League heroes,
Anyway,
dude.
so for the
Damn.
formal question of the week, what is one city you have visited that you enjoyed being in?
Ooh,
Oh, I
that is a
can
good
go.
question.
Oh, this one's easy for me.
Go for it, go for
Damn,
Hmm?
damn.
Um, Toronto, gang, gang, gang. Nah.
it.
Um, honest to God, I have
Hmm.
never loved a city as much as I loved Munich.
Munich. Ooh.
Munich was super fun, and I feel like I met some of the most nice European people in Munich.
I
Um,
see.
and I think food is amazing there, and the overall. I think it also helps that I was super into football at the time, or soccer, whatever
I
you
was
want to
gonna
call it.
allude to that.
I
Yeah.
mean, it
Bye.
also played a part for sure.
Huh.
Bayern.
Bayern, let's go. That also alluded to the entire experience, but I feel like overall, I just love that city. It was beautiful. Everything was nice, apart from the fact that there was no AC in our hotels and it was 34 degrees Celsius outside.
Yeah.
But it is a great city. I love it there. A close second, or like tied for first, would be Vancouver.
Vancouver is an amazing
I just
place.
love Vancouver. Yes, of course
Happy
it is
to-
for you, Jude. But Vancouver is amazing.
XD.
Vancouver is amazing, beautiful. I think it is one of the prettiest cities in Canada. Would never live there, but it's
Mhm.
super nice. It's super nice.
And do you have any particular memories in Munich that make you say it's your
Uh,
standout?
dude, the easiest one is either Olympia Park, and so there's one that's super meme, and it's my dad buying 9 euros, 9 euro fries and feeding them to the geese at the park,
Uh
and me and my brother getting tilted that he's spending 9 euros on fries to give to the geese, and when we
Mad
asked
fat.
for one, he yelled at us and called us fat. But yeah,
Well,
and the other one is at the Allianz Arena. Obviously, that
mhm.
has to take the cake. That was I was most excited for that part of the trip. just going to the stadium, seeing the stadium, getting my jersey, Lewandowski jersey, just to piss off any Dortmund fans, because that was the season he moved. Um, those two for sure. Yeah.
Thank you, Abid. Aaron?
All right. This is kind of tough for me. It's a toss-up between Kyoto and Queenstown.
Two very different cities.
Yeah, but the same kind of vibe for me, honestly. So the reason why it's such a tough choice for me is because both actually played a similar role in how it emotionally made me feel to be there, in the sense that both places were so calming. Kyoto was just so relaxing. So I don't know how to explain the vibe in Kyoto. It was just very chill and it was very serene. But I would have to say Queenstown, with the view and with the scenery and everything, would have to be my favorite. There's just something about Queenstown with, when I went, it was the winter was just about to start, so the mountains along the edges already had a bunch of snow on them, and there's just something about the town, or the city. I guess it's considered a large town, that was just very calming. Like I had no stress when I was there. Yeah, I had no stress when I was there. I did a lot of things that, I went skiing, I went rafting. There was a lot of things that, like, I got to do there, and while I was there, I had zero stress. Like, even though I had shit going on and I had, like, things to worry about in KL. I was waiting for my grades at the time as well. While I was there, I was just like, dude, I could die happy. It's just so relaxing, and everyone is so friendly, and the place is it's just a really beautiful, beautiful town, I guess. So yeah.
Well, I mean, I feel like a lot of our listeners would not know which Queenstown you're referring to. There's a Queenstown in Maryland,
Oh,
here in the United States.
Queenstown, New Zealand.
That's
Sorry,
facts.
New
sorry.
Zealand. I
Sorry,
figured.
Queenstown, New Zealand. Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's next to a large lake, and it's surrounded by mountains. I think half of it is surrounded by a lot of a mountain range. So it's just geographically a very beautiful location.
Yeah.
And during the winter, it's completely covered in snow, and to my knowledge, it doesn't get too hot as well. So it's one of the jewels of New Zealand, to my knowledge. So yeah, that would be it for
Yeah.
me.
Very out of hand answer. Thank you, Aaron. Jason?
Yeah, for me, um, I'll definitely have to agree with Aaron, and saying that Japan, especially in Tokyo, um, it definitely is a place that I never thought I'd fell in love with so much until because I always had the perception that, Japan's always like, it's a not a country for me. But,
Yeah.
after being in Tokyo and experiencing the lifestyle and, staying in Akihabara, and it's just it's just one of those moments that I'll never forget because of how active the lifestyle is. I'm a city person for sure.
Mhm.
Uh, and it's just it's just amazing the food, the culture, and it's it's just so peaceful. No I just basically enjoy every single moment. I didn't think about, university at the time and any other problems I was dealing with. I think if you ask me the one moment I remember the most from Tokyo, it's just walking around the streets of Shinjuku when everyone's asleep and, I was still dealing with jet lag. I
Uh-huh.
uh I was just plugged in, walking around by myself and just absorbing everything around me. It's just so beautiful. So
A lot of our
yeah,
answers have
that's
been alluding to scenery, and just the
yeah. Again, the
not only the
scenery.
vibe of the city, right? Just like the beauty of it as well.
Yeah,
Yeah. Thank you,
for
Jason.
sure.
Sugoi desu.
Um,
Yeah.
that was Abid, if any of our listeners think that. Anyway, In
Yeah,
typical alphabetical fashion, we haven't done this in a while, but I will give my take as well. Um, I love the sense of discovery. I love the sense of needlessly with a plan in mind, but with the ability to change that plan while I'm traversing a place. And that's why I answered Tokyo and Singapore as my two choices. It was really difficult to pinpoint between the two of them. Um, but even though I technically am not a super fan of like Japanese culture, um, the immense size of both of these metropolitan areas, Tokyo and Singapore, and like the extensive subway system too. Like you didn't need a car to go around. Um, you basically could sit in a subway, um, see where it takes you, and hop off the next station and start a new journey there. That feeling really got me, and that's what led me to answer those two cities as my pick. Uh, so yeah, thank you for all your responses, guys. It's an
That is
interesting insight, and
very
yeah, I
interesting.
mean, Queenstown is
that is
such
very
a
interesting.
out of the ballpark answer. I feel like this is such a huge advertisement for them.
Apparently, I just need to go to Japan, guys. That's what I just heard
Hey,
for the
true,
past 15,
true.
20 minutes, dude.
It sounds like it, honestly.
On the bucket
Yo,
list.
everyone I
Truly,
know that's gone to Japan loves it. I don't know anyone that's like gone to Japan and come back and be like, yeah, I wouldn't recommend. Everyone I know
Yeah,
loves it.
facts.
So
that's
Facts,
very
facts,
true.
facts.
Well, we'll go back a bit to our love for audio, because right now is the time for songs of the week, and in
yes,
typical
sir.
alphabetical fashion, let's start with Aaron. What are your two songs of the
Oh,
week?
songs of the week. Wait, two? Are we doing two or one? Doing two, right?
Yeah, we've been doing
Yeah,
two.
yeah,
Okay.
too.
Okay. Sorry, it's been a while since we've done a podcast. But yeah, glad you guys are
Oops.
tuning in. Okay. All right. Okay. So my first recommendation will have to be "Hard on Yourself" by Charlie Puth and Black Bear. This song
Mhm.
Yes,
came out
sir.
yesterday night for Malaysia timing, I think, roughly around yesterday night. This song is a certified banger. It's it's such a good song, and I actually really like the message behind it as well. It's just it's basically telling a girl or a person to stop being so hard on themselves and start trying to fit a certain image, and that they should just be happy with themselves. And I think people know this, but not enough people understand the importance of this, right? The other song I'd have to recommend is off Mine's new album, Limbo. It would be Fetus, featuring Injury Reserve. I love this song because it's such an interesting concept where Amine is what children in America face with school shooting, terrorist threats, COVID right now, and he's basically saying how with the situation in the U.S., like he doesn't want to bring this child into this world because it's like bringing him into hell almost, right? And one of the lines that hit me the hardest in the song is when he says, "My child would probably see a 5 before a fire drill," which is basically saying that there's a higher chance of a school shooting in his school than a fire drill, and I find that absolutely mind blowing. But yeah, those would be my two songs.
Mm-hmm. Abid, we're
Gang.
going in alphabetical order here, so
Let's get
it's
it.
typical
Um,
ATS fashion.
yes, sir, ski. My first song is not Yes, Sir, ski. It is "Smile" by Juice World featuring The Weeknd. Rest in
Juice
peace,
WRLD.
Juice.
Rest in peace.
This single is just holy crap. I didn't even listen to it when it launched because I kind of fell asleep. But anyway, when I
Yeah.
listened to it the next day, I feel like I haven't been hit by a song that hard in a long, long time. Especially one that's so like rap R&B driven.
Mm-hmm.
Um, just the chorus, the first line. When I heard that, I was like, this song I'm gonna listen to forever and ever. And it's just I will do everything in my power just to see you smile. I was just like, dude, I can relate to that on every level, and I feel like a lot of people can for sure. But Me especially more so if you know me. So yeah, that amazing song. Weekend does an amazing job. I think their voices do a great job bouncing off each other. And rest in peace, Juice again. And gone too soon. The second song is a throwback because I've been listening to a lot of old music lately. It's called "Make Me Proud," "Make Me Proud" by Drake, featuring Nicki Minaj. And I don't know, it's just a hype song. It's a feel good song. It's about empowering women and just like I'm all for that message. And just the song is just a good vibe. It's just a good vibe. And honestly, although it's about women and empowering women, and I very much support that message, I think that message can translate to just people around me. To be honest, the chorus. I'm so proud of you. Just like I am proud of people around me, and it's just a good musical reminder of that, and it's a fucking banger. It's just good vibes, man. It just gets you hype.
Certified banger.
Hype. Certified
Cool.
banger.
Really cool.
Take care, best album, Drake. Don't at me, Yummer.
Amir will for
Alright.
sure at you.
I'll have to agree with Abid. Take Care is Drake's best album. No cap.
Amir,
Anyway.
fucking come for us. Let's go, dude. Next week, podcast, argue. Let's go. We'll do a Drake segment.
Alright.
To
My
fill in our
first-
listeners, Amir is a good friend. Anyway, Jason.
Yeah. I'm sorry. My two songs would be again. First recommendation would be off Amine's new album as well, "Compensating," featuring Young
Yes,
Thug.
sir.
I mean, this is a song I never thought I'd like, and because Amine and Young Thug doesn't really, if you think about it, it's just like, how would they blend together? But they really vibe together well with the song. And he's really unique with his beats, and it's probably one of his best albums, or one of the best albums of the year for sure. Um, Secondly, would
Yeah.
be Griffin's new song with John Martin called "Cry." I think it's a really typical Griffin song. It's a typical like slow EDM with a sick drop, not too heavy. And I like the lyrics too because it's just saying that you know leave everything behind. You just cry it all out and move ahead. So I can relate to that a lot because I do that a lot. Aha. But yeah, those are my two songs. Sure.
Yeah. All interesting picks. Um, all very interesting picks. Yeah. My two songs. The first one is a song that I've been listening to a lot recently. It's by a band that are typically country, but they're doing a pop song for once, and it's really good. It's by Dan and Shay. It's called "I Should Probably Go to Bed." Very, very reflective of how I
Oh,
should.
that's a
It's
good
such a
song.
good song. It's such a good
That's
song.
such a good song.
Yeah. My second pick, in a theme of happiness with the podcast, I feel like this is such a good encapsulation of that. It's such a vibe, and it's Harry Styles' "Watermelon Sugar." It's everywhere on the radio right now, but definitely ups the ante in terms of like the happiness that you feel when you listen to it.
Yeah.
And
Damn.
yeah, with
I
that,
haven't heard that song actually.
it's a really good
Shit.
song.
Yeah, I actually haven't heard that
I'm
song.
pretty sure all of our recommendations
what?
are a good song.
Are you
So,
talking about Watermelon Sugar?
Yeah, I haven't heard
Watermelon
of it.
Sugar, yes.
actually.
What face? Y'all living under a rock, bro. Damn.
Yeah, big fact.
Yeah,
Watermelon
apparently.
Sugar.
Big facts.
Watermelon Sugar. Yo, that song's a fucking bop.
Watermelon Sugar High. And with
Yo.
that, we leave on a
Yes.
high.
Yes,
Right.
Steve.
It's a wrap. Thank you to the ATS boys for being here. And to you, listeners, thank you once again for tuning in to the fifth ATS cast. This is your neighborhood
Thank
dude,
you.
Jude. And as always, take care. All right,
Yes,
everyone.
sir,
See you.
ski.
Yeah, peace out.